Okay, so in this next video we want to talk about a function. We talked about relations first because a function is actually a special kind of relation. So to understand the idea for a function, which is a kind of relation, it's a more restrictive relation. Consider the idea behind that. Consider the following scenario. You're at the supermarket, and there's a relationship between the barcodes on all the items you bought. I actually just did this the other night. You go there, you scan the barcode, and it has a price. Okay, so there's a relationship between the barcode and the price. Now, relations allow a certain barcode or a certain thing to be related to many things. So imagine your barcode for a certain thing. Let's say we have a set over here for barcodes. And we have a barcode 2239. I know they're much bigger than that, but let's go with that example. And imagine that barcode is actually related to two different prices. So you scan it one time, you get a price of $2.55. You take up the next item exactly the same, you scan it, and you get a price of $2.90. That would not make people very happy. Now, it'd be one thing if you went to the market one day and it was a certain price, went to it another day and it was a different price. That would be one thing. But to scan it twice in a row and have it come up two different prices, that, all we could really say is yikes. We don't want that to happen. Well, a function is a kind of relation that doesn't allow that to happen. Functions are relations that don't allow that kind of behavior to happen. More formally, we say a function is a relation where each x in A is related to at most one y in B. Now, the word at most will be different if you look in your textbook. They say exactly one because they're using a slightly different definition than I am. But let me use the market analogy to kind of justify this idea of at most one. There could be an item or two in the supermarket that the supermarket no longer carries and it just kind of gets stuck and left on the shelf. And so when you take it up and scan it, you may get, an error. Hey, it hasn't happened. This was a long time ago where you maybe would have to do a price check or something like that. So it's possible you may have an item there that doesn't get related. And so that's why we say at most one. Function relations where each x is related to at most one. May not be related to anything, but it can't be related to more than one. And so a function takes this behavior here of an x value going to more than one y value and says, no, I can't have that. Now, it's okay to have a y value that has several x values going to it. Think about the supermarket. You're going to the candy bar aisle, right? There's tons of candy bars and they all have the same price. So it's okay to have a bunch of x values go to the same y value. It's just you can't have an x value that goes to more than one y value. So with that in mind, we take our discussion of relations and we continue with it now. We still want to talk about domain and range, but now we want to check the condition, does this relation qualify as a function? And so consider the relation 1, 2, 3 goes to 2, 4 goes to 1, and 5 goes to 3. Just like before, we can talk about our domain. So that would be the set of x values. In this case, it would be 1, 3, 4, and 5. And the set of y values. In this case, it would be 1, 2, and 3. Now we ask the question, is this thing a function? Well, do we have an x value that's going to more than one y value? No, we don't. Now you might say, well, wait, both 1 and 3 are going to 2. It's okay for y values to have a bunch of x values going into them. Just like that Snickers bar and that Reese's Cup bar both cost 89 cents at the supermarket. Okay, it's okay for different barcodes to have the same price. It's okay for different x's to have the same y value. The problem would come in when you had an x value going to two different y values. So yes, this is in fact a function. Okay, let's consider a second example. The relation -2 goes to 3, 1 goes to 3, 2 goes to 1, 1 goes to 5, and 3 goes to 6. Again, let's talk about our domain. Domain would be the set of x values. Writing them in numerical order, that would be -2, 1, 2, 3. Range, again, is your set of y values. Writing them in numerical order, that would be 1, 3, 5, and 6. Once again, we come to the question, is this thing a function? The fact that both -2 and 1 go to 3, right, that first line there, that's okay. But there is a problem here. The problem is that 1 goes to 3 and 1 goes to 5. And so you have an x value taking on two different y values. That would be like having a barcode taking on two different prices. We can't have that. So we'd say no, and again the reason is that 1's going to both 3 and to 5. And we can't allow that to happen if it's going to be a function. Okay? So hopefully that'll get you started as you're trying to test relations to see whether or not they are functions, and also finding the domain and range.